Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So as promised, I was able to get a hold of a TCA PRC 152, and as you can see here, I also have a TCA PRC 152 as well. So first things first, the construction of the two is roughly the same, as you can see. The difference is the cutouts for the speakers here, the top buttons, the backing. The two chargers are also quite different. You can see in thickness and in their retaining function and everything like that. And on this one, the light is on top to indicate battery level or battery charge level. And in this one, the light is on the charger. So there's a little bit different. TRI, the light is on the charger. TCA is actually on the charging cradle itself. So there's all that. One of the striking things on the differences here is this one comes with a whip. This one just comes with this flexible antenna. I personally like the whip because I can cut it back down. But this flexible antenna is also pretty awesome at the same time. So the TRI, maybe you could have the flexible antenna instead of this bad boy, which I'm sure is quite durable as well. So we'll go to the other things first behind the different tools that we're going to look at. So first of all, anyways, here is the programming cable for the TRI PRC 152. I was not able to find one for the TCA. And this one, unfortunately, does not marry with the TRI. So they can't work together in conjunction, or I have not figured out the way to make that work. So we'll put the TCA over there, and we'll go to the TRI. Striking difference here, the TRI comes with a KDU, or can come with a KDU, or they make a KDU that goes with the unit and everything like that. I think that is amazing. For a guy that likes to change comms on the moves and stuff like that and doesn't like this radio to be in immediate reach, so on and so forth. So maybe I put it on my back or somewhere else on my body, somewhere I can stow it safely and it's out of my way. I like to have it personally up here on the left side so I can turn it on or off pretty easy, switch between plain and Cryptex pretty easy, so on and so forth. So that's my reasons for doing that. It is the only one that comes with the KDU though. So I like the KDU, so already I like the TRI PRC 152. So we'll go ahead and turn this one on. So there's the TRI. You can see the message there, TRI instruments, and then we'll turn on the TCA. Already two different levels of backlight. Something else is striking to me. Another thing is my ability to use the speaker is a lot better than it is on this one. So with the TCA though, I'm having a problem. I have not yet figured out how to activate this mic or this speaker or get the mics to work. So I can key up. Testing, 1, 2. But nothing's going to come through. You see that? However, on this one, it does come through over here. I can't even get anything to come through this way, so I'll show you here. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. It's showing it's keyed up, but I'm getting nothing. So, making sure they're both in the same mode. Let's try that again. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. It's still not working. So, we're going to take it in here. Go ahead and attach the headset. Okay, headset with the push-to-talk adapter. This is a 6-pin push-to-talk adapter on both of them. You'll see that, 6-pin, same as that one. This one is slightly shorter, the radio is slightly shorter, the battery is slightly shorter as well. The whole setup is slightly smaller than the TCA. I already like it because of its other capabilities, but already like that too. It's not that much of a difference. I think it's maybe a 1/4 inch, but a 1/4 inch goes a long ways in a lot of places. So I don't want to hear any jokes. I don't want to hear, don't be putting that in the comments. I'm making this for kids too, so kids can look at this and see how cool these comms are, because they're going to want to play airsoft. So please don't ruin it for everybody. So I'll do a radio check real quick, and you can hear this. Radio check, 1, 2. You hear that key up. Comes through both of them. And then I'll do it the other way too. Radio check, 1, 2. Obviously, they're really in close proximity, so there's going to be a lot of squelch and different things like that. I like this headset. I can use it when doing some recondo or when I choose to wear a hat. I also like this one, though. I can also wear this with a hat. This is a Compact 3s that I got off of Amazon, like flipping 100 like Z-Tac Compact 3s. I know, Amazon. Well, I also got these off eBay. So for anybody judging, these Rodeos are pretty fantastic for getting off eBay. So anyways, but the key display unit on the TRI PRC 152, I'm able to change the channels. I'm able to input manually any of the channels that I want to input and different things like that. I can do it on the fly. It's a lot simpler. I can change between channels. I can completely put a new frequency in and everything like that. I can disable a lot of the functions, including the backlight from the KDU. I do know that. I'm digging into it now. I'll figure out how to do all that at a later time. But this radio, I believe to be the superior one, the TRI PRC 152, guys. If you got to choose between one of them, they're about the same price. Get the TRI. You're going to get way more out of the TRI than you will out of the TCA. So I'm going to turn both of these off so I'm not wasting batteries. But as you can see, guys, they look almost exactly the same, but they're not. There are differences. The KDUs are pretty awesome. If you choose not to use it, you just unplug it like that, and you just undo the thumb screw here, and it comes right off, as you can see. So simple, goes back to the base radio. So now we'll talk about the other types of things that can be used with these kind of things, right? So obviously we get the 6-pin push-to-talks that works on either the TCA or the TRI PRC 152s. I like an antenna displacement cable, because I think I talked about where I like to put the radio before. Some of you have seen my kit review or my plate carrier review. You'll know that I like to put the radio right here. So the antenna displacement, instead of having this crazy antenna in the way, or even this crazy antenna in the way, allows me to take that antenna cable, feed it into the top here, which I'll show you. Let's go ahead and do a demo on it. Why not? You guys are watching the video. By the way, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel, or like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like to see more videos like this. I'll be making many more as I trudge through my journey of finding cool tactical stuff. So anyways, antenna displacement cable, just how it sounds. It displaces the antenna, right? So there it is on a different spot. So I can put this antenna now anywhere in my gear, or even make room for a full whip, let's say on my back. Or if I want to put one on my back, I go up over the shoulder of my plate carrier, and I can put one on my back, and at will I can have one of my guys either open the whip up or try to open it up myself, depending on where the whip antenna is actually placed on my gear, so on and so forth. So as you can see, antenna displacement cable, hence the antenna displaced. So it makes a lot more sense, everything like that. So we'll go ahead and break these down so you can see just how similar they are. It's hard to tell them apart. If you don't have two, you won't be able to tell the difference of which one you're looking at. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect all the 6-pin or the push-to-talk here, so you can see just how all this breaks down. Pretty easy, same thing. Pop the antenna off, unscrew the antenna, displace it. I like to put this cover back on. I took the lanyard off of this darn thing because when it was on my kit, that lanyard was just catching on things and different things like that. It was just pissing me off. So if I'm going to use the 6-pin push-to-talk, I'm not going to take it out anyways in the field. So I leave the cover on when it's in the box. When not, I'll probably end up snipping that lanyard too at a later date. So here we have headset. So my Recondo headset, I like to call it a Recondo headset. I mean, that with the push-to-talk, maybe the Baofeng push-to-talk maybe cost me, I don't know, 25 bucks on Amazon. It was like ridiculously cheap. This cost a little bit more. It was like $60, $70 on eBay. And the push-to-talks are the most expensive parts of the actual after accessories. These things could be up to $100, $150. I saw them for $200, different things like that. So they're not cheap. I also like the way the push-to-talk's made. Because of the double sleeving here, it doesn't want to pull apart. It's simple, it's small. I can just put it on my kit anywhere and just push the button and just talk. It's pretty easy. Self-explanatory there. It's a push to talk, clearly. So that's all of that works. Okay, TRI, PRC. As you can see, or the TCA. As you can see, this is what comes in the box with the TCA, right? TRI has the same stuff coming in the box, right? But you also got the programming cable. You got the KDU with the cable and stuff like that. That is also an aftermarket option. That is not an aftermarket option on the TCA PRC 152. So if you looked at it, standard kit for the TRI, it looks like this, right? Pretty much like this. Whereas the TCA, it's just a couple things. So you can make your own decisions. You know, I know some of you probably have the TCAs or are looking at the TCAs, and you don't want to do all the extras and different things like that. If you're just trying to chat with some of your buddies for airsoft, this would be for you. But if you're going to use it a lot and you need that capability, like you're a comms guy or something like that, then the TRI PRC 152 is going to be more your speed, not the TCA. Although I did like the TCA, still like the TCA, going to keep it, not going to let it go. It's a nice backup radio to have, but it's also helps to force multiply my capabilities as well. I've got two radios that function virtually the same, but the TRI PRC 152, I've got to dig way into it. This one's going to take a deep dive. This one took about a week of screwing it to figure out. I think I'm going to be working on that one for a few months, trying to figure it out, and so on and so forth. So, but I do like the construction of the TRI versus the TCA and its capabilities and everything like that. The ability to marry the KDUs, has the same plate, nearly. You see there's slight differences, but it does not work like the TRI does. So you can also see the backing is a little bit different. For the access cover here is a little bit, there's no access cover on this one, but there is on this one. You can see the serial numbers there and everything like that. So, I mean, it's all here. It's virtually the same radio, but it really is not the same radio. They're basically the same price. So why not pay, if you're going to pay the money for a TCA, you might as well pay the money for the TRI. It's literally, I think, might be a $20 difference, $20 or $30 difference at most. It's not much. So you get what you pay for when it comes to radios and different things like that. So there you go, guys. I had a look at both of them. I will say I'm very satisfied with either one. I would trust either one to work, obviously, when I need it to. But I'm a comms guy. I'm going to go with the TRI PRC 152. It wins on a bunch of different points. It's the aftermarket options. It's the ability to marry the KDU. It's the programming ability. It's the way more menu options. It truly is runs at 15 watts. This one can only run it, like I think what we pumped out of it, we saw about 7.5 watts. I don't care what the manual says. It may be 7.5 watts at most, but this is a full 15 watts for sure. There are a bunch of other different things that made it simple for me as a cell. I mean, even the batteries are slightly different. The TRI doesn't have the fake little battery cradle points. So I really don't know what's up with that. I've not tried it on a Harris cradle. Don't really want to try it on a Harris cradle. I'd rather just stick with the stock chargers that were given to me with the radios, so on and so forth. It's just a safer option. You don't want to ruin your stuff. I mean, especially in the economy we live in, so we're talking about being frugal and different things like that. The Harris PRC 152 is not really that financially responsible for a lot of people. I mean, they go for between $10,000 to $20,000, where I picked each one of these goes for about $360, $350. You have FM capability in case you are just chilling out there by yourself and different things like that. It can, I believe, to be it does have capabilities to be shipped to shore. I know this one's got more range than this one. This is going to be a few miles, like a good chunk of mileage, whereas this one's going to be just down the road, so on and so forth. So for range capabilities, the TRI wins again and again and again. It just keeps winning, where the TCA has a lot of catching up to do to be able to keep up to par with the TRI 152s here. So that's it, guys. that's what I had for a review video. As promised, I would look at both of them. I love the KDU on this one, though. I can't stop speaking about that enough. In fact, I'm going to put the sucker back together and show you the different functions of the KDU, what I found so far. So, and as you can see, it's relatively easy to get together and back into working order. Just remember, when you're trying to plug this in a hurry, there's a dimple on the plug here. You see it right there. There's that little dimple. It goes up, boop, in we go. Turn her on, and there she is. So, let's see if we can just break into this a little bit. So, if I hit Tools, I get a change. All right. So, that's pretty interesting. The Tools button. What's the preset button do for me? Oh, it's a push-to-talk button. So that doubles as a push-to-talk button, which is really interesting because I have one now here, here, and then if I got the 6-pin in, I got one there too. So I've got 3 points of being able to push-to-talk. That's really, really interesting. Okay, let's see what this does. So if I hit menu, reset, mic type, speaker on, TTMF, RPT, squelch, DTM, tone. So let's see what that one does for us really quick. Huh. That's really interesting. And then it stays at the last mode that you looked at. Interesting. CTC, DC. Power. Offset, step. Channel memory, channel delete. Off. There goes the backlight. So we're going to turn the beep off. Off. There, the beep's off now. Interesting. It's only when you activate the LED, so on and so forth. So we're able to figure that out. So as I'm sitting here, so the ring, tone, okay, and then it's back into the other modes and so on and so forth. And then you just hit clear, of course, get all the way back out of the memory or the menu mode and everything like that. This is just amazing. I love this. With the TRI PRC 152, 100%, this is just cool. For me, just the full range of functions and everything like that just breaks the radio for me. So on this one, 100% thumbs up to TRI. Like it better than the TCA. Definitely outdid yourselves. I know that these radios are a bit older, so it's a little old news for a lot of people. But a lot of people don't really hear positive things about the PRC 152s that aren't actually Harris radios, so from TRI and TCA and different things like that. There's not really a lot of positive vibes that I'm getting there. The other guys are like, well, you just spend the extra money and go to straight encrypted or this, that, and the other. There's better options out there. Yeah, I'll give you that. Motorola does make a hell of a radio. Even the actual Harris's are pretty awesome, but for those that have budgets and stuff like that, they can't afford it. In other words, for some of the people out there, you'll call us the poors. This is a poor man's radio that's pretty kick-ass. So I'll take it any day, every day of the week. I'm not so concerned about encrypted mode and different things like that. You can defeat encryption or the encrypted mode just by having a set of keywords and key phrases that can't be deciphered, that causes your enemy to just assume what you're doing or saying and different things like that. So using different key phrases that only you and your element know and understand what they mean. Since a lot of the guys that want this encryption aren't really running with big elements, probably behooves you to get something, to get some TeamSpeak going on and just come up with a cohesive type of language of your own. So instead of saying left, hammer to port, or hammer to starboard, or just different terms. Looking at just look at the different types of terms which your team will understand, and different things like that. I mean, even flipping the script. So instead of saying when you want to go right, saying push left. So you're actually pushing right, which would be their left. So it depends on the idiocracy or the smarts of your opponent as well, and different things like that. So you start flipping the script. You need to be careful about how you're doing that as well, because if they're an idiot, they already might have everything backwards, and if you go to backwards, you're just telling them how to do things, so on and so forth. But so I would look into stuff like that. So I mean, sure, it's nice to banter over radios and stuff like that, but if you've ever been in the military before, you'll know that banter over radios is not something you do. You shut the hell up, keep the channels clear, make it so other people can talk, and if you hear break, 9-11 medevac to follow, you shut up and don't say anything. Your conversation on that specific frequency is over. When you hear that kind of stuff, or break, requesting immediate or priority fire mission, or this, that, or the other, you need to shut up. So there's big things that are coming through, clearing air for proximity detonations, stuff like that. So proximity explosions, controlled deaths, you need to shut up. And a lot of these guys think we watch Hollywood movies and we hear the banter back and forth about on frequencies and nets and stuff like that. That's not really something that you really do in the real world military and stuff like that. So even that whole thing of out, there's a procedure to that. If you're flipping little team leader so-and-so and you out a first sergeant or a sergeant major, you will hear about it later, as one of ours did overseas. So, but anyways, guys, I highly recommend the TRI PRC 152. Can't say it enough. More videos to come. I'm looking at more equipment and so on and so forth. I'm one of those guys that just kind of explaining to you my type of situation. I'm one of those guys that looks at the cheapest option to get the job done, so on and so forth. It's like I served in the U.S. military, because I did. But I'm sure there's a bunch of guys just like me. But anyways, I look for the cheapest option, what gets us the furthest for the least amount of money, so on and so forth. But I also look at what is decent quality for the least amount of money. I'm not going to tell you to go get a Baofeng. This is pretty much Baofengs in this, in heart and bodies. That's what the TCA PRC 152 is. It's more of a Baofeng. This one, however, has a lot of extra options that are not available on the Baofeng. It's way, way better, guys. Highly recommend it. I'll see if I can't find the eBay link for the specific one that I bought. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my chance encounter of the one that I purchased. But for what I'm hearing, the TRIs would be superior to the TCAs for just a lot of different reasons. Airsofters and LARPers alike like them. I hate that term, by the way, LARPers. If you like to LARP, if you will, just get up in gear and walk around to feel important with your buddies in the woods. That's awesome. Look at some goal-orientated training, some objectives. Okay, guys, while we're out here, we want to look at this. We want to look at that. We want to look at, be over here and different things like that, and then not come off that hill, if you will, for that iteration that you're doing. Complete your training. Otherwise, you're just walking around, and that's why you're giving everybody else a bad name, and you're kind of looking like an idiot, no offense. And then that's all Soul and Valor cases start. So, actually have some goal-orientated trainings and stuff like that, and it'll help you out a lot more. So, alright guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think. Thank you.